High Seas Adventures. Chapter 1. The Calm Before the Storm. The sea is calm, the wind soft, and the only sound is the creaking of the wooden ship as it cuts through the water. James stands at the helm, squinting into the distance, while Alice adjusts the sails.
Do you think we'll find anything exciting today?
Alice asks, looking over the side at the clear water below.
Maybe a new island, or a treasure chest.
James replies, his face full of hope.
Anything's possible.
Suddenly, a strange shadow moves under the water, just out of sight. Neither of them notices, but the feeling of something watching them starts to creep into the air. As the wanderer sails deeper into the unknown waters, a low rumble vibrates through the ship. The ocean's surface begins to churn, and James feels the air grow heavier, as though something is approaching.
Do you hear that?
Alice asks, her hand gripping the edge of the ship. A loud splash echoes nearby, followed by the sound of something large moving beneath the waves. Without warning, the sea around them erupts as a massive, serpent-like creature breaches the surface. Its eyes, glowing a menacing yellow, lock onto James and Alice.
It's a Leviathan!
James gasps, remembering the stories his father had told him. Tales of a giant sea serpent that haunted these deep waters, seeking ships to devour. The creature lets out a bone-chilling hiss, its scales shimmering with an unnatural glow. As it rises higher, a creature at least 50 feet long, with rows of sharp, jagged teeth. Alice and James exchange quick glances, both of them thinking the same thing. They need to outsmart the creature, not fight it head on.
We need to distract it!
Alice shouts, pulling out a small pouch from her bag and tossing it overboard.
What's that?
James asks, unsure.
It's sea sugar, just like Dad taught me.
Alice grins as the pouch hits the water. The sea serpent recoils slightly at the sight of the sea sugar. The ancient creature who's sensitive to the reaction sea sugar has with salt water swerves, confused and disoriented. James grabs the wheel, steering the ship into a sharp turn.
Let's get out of here!
He shouts, his voice filled with determination. But the serpent isn't done yet. With a terrifying roar, it lunges towards the ship, its massive tail crashing into the side. The wanderer rocks violently, and Alice almost loses her balance.
Hold on!
James yells, tying the rope from the sail to the mast to steady the ship. Just as the serpent lunges again, James remembered a detail from his father's stories. The Leviathan is afraid of one thing: high-pitched noises out of the water. He remembered that the beast's ears can't take it without the water to soften the sound.
Alice, the whistle! Blow the whistle!
James shouts. Alice quickly reaches into the small barrel of tools they've kept for emergencies and pulls out a metal whistle. She blows into it loud, the shrill sound cutting through the air. The serpent hesitates, its eyes darting around, clearly unnerved by the noise. James seizes the opportunity, urging the ship forward.
We have to move, now!
With all their strength, they steer the wanderer toward a rocky outcrop in the distance, hoping the creature will lose interest in the chase. Just as some rocks come into view, the serpent strikes once more, its great head surging towards the ship. But the rocks create a narrow gap, too small for the beast to follow. James and Alice steer the ship into the space, barely avoiding the serpent's snapping jaws. The sea beast thrashes violently, but the narrow passage prevents it from following. With one final roar of frustration, the Leviathan retreats, disappearing into the depths. James and Alice sit on the edge of the ship, breathing heavily but smiling in triumph.
We did it!
Alice says, her voice full of exhilaration. James nods, a grin spreading across his face.
We're not just siblings now, we're sailors.
As the sun sinks lower, casting a golden glow over the calm waters, they set course for the horizon, their hearts racing with the thrill of the adventure. The high seas are vast and full of danger, but James and Alice now know they have the courage to face whatever lies ahead.